All right, so how did you get all your stuff from the United States to the Philippines?
Well, I had a friend because I'm visually impaired, so getting on a computer, plus I only have a half a brain. So I can do it, but it's really hard. But she came over, helped me, and we looked at 6. There were more than 6, but we looked at the 6 that looked the most promising. And then I called them and I asked all the different questions. I wrote down the questions to ask, and then of course, as those come up, I found other questions, and I got it down then to 2 that I felt good about it. And then at that point, but we looked lightly at the 6 on, you know, how everybody gets these star ratings, and that's kind of where we weeded it down to 2
With the shipping company?
for the shipping company. And then when I talked to them, I had the 2, but 1, they were just so business, not really friendly, and just the way it is, deal with it kind of thing. I don't want that. I want a good, honest communication and feel I can trust what they're saying. So Katrina has the name of the company. I am so satisfied. They told me the amount, and then I changed one thing, and they even give me a less of amount. And I didn't complain. You know, I went in and asked a question, and they changed one little thing, and I wouldn't even ask them for a discount, but they gave it to me. I was happy. But the most important is they told me the expenses. They told me what it's going to cost for them to come to my house. There's 2 prices. If they have to just put it in a crate and then ship it, it's 1 price. But if they have to box it and put it in a truck, and then the truck goes to storage until a container shows up, because there's a shortage of containers. Everybody wants them. And a lot of people have started taking and buying them and putting them in their backyards.
You have the choice of a 20-footer or a 40-footer.
Yes. But if you're not sure, ask them to come out and give you a net. You describe what you have, the size of your larger things. Get some measurements of it, and then they can figure and tell you which one would fit you. Because that's what I did. We went out and we measured my couch, my refrigerator, my this, my that, and all the bookshelf. And they came up, got it, and I said, okay. I didn't want to go the 40-footer. I initially was going to, but I only had a little bit more that was needed. So I decided, well, I don't really need this, and I don't really need that. And I got it down to the 20-footer. They told me the cost. Plus, the key thing is once you get here, you're going to have other costs. They told me it would be between $1,000 and $3,000 US, maybe just a little bit more than 3,000. It cost me $1,800. Don't try to get your SRRV, your special resident retirement visa. Just go where you're going to pay the taxes. It's cheaper. Of course, they didn't tell me this when coming through, but you just pay the taxes. It's simple. If you go the other route, they bring it in, they put it in storage. You got to pay storage every single day, plus whatever amount they decide
And they're
to tax
much
you.
more expensive in the Philippines
It
than in the
is.
U.S.
You know, that's a good point, because not everything here is cheaper than the U.S. Land, housing is more expensive here. The storage.
And a lot of people don't feel that, but if you have good quality land and housing,
Yes, well,
It's
but yeah, you have to do,
pricier here
if
in
you
the
go
Philippines.
to a slum area or a.
Very rural, super
a
rural
rural area or suburban, you go to those same areas here, and in the upscale in the States to the upscale here, you gotta go apple to apple. And when you do that, it costs more here, but it's worth it. It's
Now-
not that much more, but the key thing is food, all this other stuff, entertainment, it's cheaper here.
Now, going back to the shipping, what documentation did you need for the shipping companies? So starting from the beginning, you priced out your container, and then what did they require from you?
Well, I had to write out all the things that I had
Mhm.
so that they could get an estimate. Because when they come, they're gonna do their own. But if you save them time, it saves you money. And so I had it all written out. I sent them one, but I kept an original. And if you're taking anything expensive, they'd like you to have proof of ownership. Problem is, I had a couch that's 20 years old, but it still looks new. I didn't have it. So they said, oh, don't worry about it, but.
They have you insure this
The,
stuff?
yeah, I was gonna say, you can go and spend a lot of money for insurance. I chose, now like all of mine, I decided, cause you can get a 7,000 one, a 10, 20,000, 100,000. Because to be honest, all my stuff was well over 100,000, easily. But I didn't tax everything because I have renter's insurance through USAA, and what the insurance doesn't cover, I can go to them. But what I covered was all of my artwork because it's collectibles, and that was worth a lot of money. So on those, I insured those, but the rest I didn't insure. I put it all to this, that. It reduced how much I was gonna have to pay them insurance. But there's a second insurance, and this is a real key. If you're gonna send the stuff during hurricane or typhoon season, every year, 2 or 3 shipping container ships sink. And if you're on there and it sinks in the ocean, you're just out.
Do you get that through the company too?
You can get it through the people that are going to ship you. But now, for example, my friend Dr. K here, hers is going right after the typhoon season here in the Pacific. And hurricane typhoon, it's the same thing, it's just the location that they call it different. And so hers is pretty safe. So she doesn't really need that insurance. It's when you're gonna send it to dangerous times, I'd say get it.
Now, once it arrives here, what's the paperwork like? What do you need to get your stuff now?
Well, I had to present the documentation that I did with getting it all packed up. We brought that, and I actually just sent it through photos and emails to, and the person I contacted, his name was Mark, and he deals with that shipping company, but he's the one to make sure I get my container and saves that for me and gets people to bring it to my house safely. And that's just as important. You have a great day and thank you.
That's perfect. You found that door-to-door shipping service. I love it.